Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what I first do is I usually just drop the gates, but before I do that, I'm going to show you a couple things here so you better understand what we need to do to prepare for race day. I'll come down here, and each one of these gates and this dirt down here has to be dug out to a reasonable level. You can't dig it too deep because then the framework for the gates won't work properly. But what you're trying to do is to keep the dirt from building up and then a rock get caught underneath these pieces right here, these arms here. If you get one rock stuck underneath one of these arms, the entire gate will not drop. So if you dig some dirt out, you give the dirt and the rocks a place to go throughout the day. It'll help prevent that from happening. Also, it helps prevent the pipe from binding up. So you have to dig out each individual gate in that mindset all the way down. 20 gates this side, 20 gates that side. Then, if I know a lot of guys have asked me this question and didn't ever understand why, is these holes that I dig up in front of the pivot points of each gate. Here again, I dig a hole to give the dirt a place to go. Because if this is left flat, the dirt will just pile up around these pins, these points right here, and then it's a possibility that these gates may bind up and one or two gates may not drop at all. And then you got to do a restart because the gate didn't drop. The other thing I do, which Jimmy does a lot of that with the Bobcat coming down here, as you can see, it's been already cleaned up on the back side and the front side, is you want the gates to be flat to the ground. If you look at the gates, these gates should drop flat to the metal. If you have dirt built up behind them, it will not drop flat. Then it makes it so that it's a pretty rough transition over the gates to get out, get your start going. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll go along with my shovel like this, and I'll just scrape back far enough so that it makes it flat behind the gate, and that's about is the extent of what I do. Sometimes I'll take this dirt, if it's not too badly built up, and then I'll just scrape it back like this. Now a lot of times when I'm digging these gates out, if there's a lot of dirt, I don't throw it behind the gates because that's where all the dirt winds up in the first place. I usually take that dirt and I throw it at the track, because that's where it came from originally. That's where you want to put it back. Otherwise, it just keeps building up and up and up back here, and then Jimmy has a hard time getting it level behind the gates. That's pretty much it. Just making sure that the most important part of the whole thing is making sure this piece of pipe here can rotate on a daily basis all through the day without any binding issues or anything getting stuck underneath it, to make for a uneventful day all day with the gates. This just gives you peace of mind that the gates are going to work well throughout the day. This bar here is how we drop the gate. You just give it a good stop, and the gate comes down. And as we can see, there's a gate down there binding already. Drop all the way. So let's take a walk down there and see why. Why is because there's a buildup of dirt underneath here, not letting it drop. A lot of times you're going to want to get a screwdriver to clean those out. It's the easiest way to get down in there to clean that dirt out. I'm going to have to go scrounge up the screwdriver, but the dirt is built up underneath here so much that it's not letting the gate drop down flat the way it's supposed to. has to be dug out too, because that's where all the rocks and dirt and debris catch. And that pivot can't turn, the whole pipe will stay up. Whole gate will stay up. But then again, you can't dig too deep, because then the framework, as you can see also, the dirt here is built up too high in front of the gates. That should be flat. I'm gonna have to see if Jimmy can maybe backblade that, because that's a lot of backbreaking work for me to dig all this back so it's flat, because it has to transition quite a ways to get it flat.